Hello, welcome to Let's Talk About Art. My name is Dwight Smith. I'm a professor here at Fayetteville State University in the Department of Performing and Fine Arts. We'd like to welcome today a former student of ours who's doing a wonderful job in the community with his graphic designs. This is DeCoris Smith. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time out to come in and talk to us about the wonderful things you're doing with your work. Is that one of your designs on your shirt?
It is. It is. A little embroidery and also a little design on the back.
Add on the back. Yeah, okay. Well, let's start out. You're a former student at FSU.
Yes.
In our Department of Performing and Fine Arts. You're a graphic designer.
Correct.
So how was your experience here? Okay, I got it. How was your experience here?
It was good. I was in a new environment around so many people, so many artists. I think that really helped me develop and further my career, just being around so many talented people. And then obviously I had talented professors who gave me a lot of information and helped me along the way.
Yeah, it was challenging.
Yes.
And but it worked out so well.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, you're doing
It
phenomenal in the community. You're a graphic designer.
Yes.
What made you decide that graphic design, out of all the things that we were doing, like painting, drawing, and whatever, that graphic design was your
Well, for me, I always kind of wanted to be a commercial artist versus a fine artist. I was inspired by people like Keith Haring. So when you talk about like how he has his pop-up shop and how he made it accessible to a wide range of people, that's kind of where I wanted to hit my mark and try to interact with the consumer. So more about people who like art, but maybe not fine art. They may not buy a painting, but they may buy a sticker or a shirt or a design here and there.
Yes. Currently, you're designing for Timberland.
Timberland. Yes.
Yes.
So,
how did that come about?
well, social media, obviously, just being consistent with my work. I was on LinkedIn, and then I was on Instagram posting, and somebody from LinkedIn ended up seeing my stuff that worked for VF Corporation. And then from there, they put my name in the hat type of thing, and somebody reached out to me from Timberland.
Wonderful. So, were your designs accepted right off the bat, or was there a process that you had to go through? Or I remember, I think we were talking at the reception, and you said you had to show design after design.
Yeah. So for the most part, once they were interested in me, they looked at a lot of my work on social media, a lot of stuff on Instagram, and from there they were able to see my style and see things that they liked, and then they developed a brief and they sent me a brief with some rough concepts, and they even included some of my artwork in the brief, and they basically just wanted to see what I could do, and I had a few concepts. Once I got those concepts, took my time, did some visual research, started thinking about things I could say, slogans here and there, and then I pretty much gave them everything I could think of.
Gave them everything you could think
Everything
of.
I could think
everything
of.
you could think of, which is great. Because sometimes our students only want to do one or two designs and think that's the best design.
No.
No, right, yeah.
I would submit multiple designs. My logic was like, they're gonna like something. So
Out of everything, they will
everything.
pick something out of
Something.
this whole group.
yeah, so it kind of went from there. Then once they started picking things, we kind of narrowed the direction. Then we went on as far as like layouts and then color schemes and things like that. And then I had to get things like slogans, because anytime you put like a slogan or a catchphrase on a shirt, you have to kind of go through a legal process to make sure there's no copyright issues and stuff like that. So once all those was clear, then we just kind of went from there.
Great, great. So do you think you'll make, right now you're teaching.
Yes.
You're also a professor, and as
We'll just teach.
you're teaching,
Yeah,
you're
don't put
teaching, you're
that on me.
teaching. Okay, right. That comes later.
Yeah.
But as we, many times we tell our students that sometimes you're going to have 2 or 3 jobs
Yes.
that you're going to have when you leave here
Yes.
in the arts, because most of our students are very flexible at being able to do a lot of different things. And so that's critically important. And you never know when that wonderful experience or that stroke of genius is going to hit you that someone's going to like.
Yeah, that's very true.
And that's what occurred with you, which was wonderful.
Yes.
I think that's great. Also, an interesting thing that's occurring now, I think, in our department is that as an instructor, as an art teacher, some of your students are coming to us, and they're graduating from our program,
They are.
which is interesting because we had that experience. That was my first experience
Yeah.
with finding out that one of the students that I'd been working with for 4 years was your former student in high school.
Yes.
And you came to the reception, and it was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is really interesting how this link
Oh, yeah.
has occurred from a former student
Yes.
to a current to us, and then now he's graduating and going to SCAD.
He is.
Yeah, so it's like, boy, the chain is very interesting, and I think not a lot of people think about that.
Yeah.
That there is this link in the arts where our students are going out into the community, they're getting great jobs, they're doing wonderful things, and they're sending their students to us,
Yes.
and we're working with them.
Yeah. By teaching art, I see a lot of talented students, and I just remember when I was in high school and middle school, we didn't really know about the arts as far as jobs when it came to like careers in the arts. So when I came here, I was really exposed to graphics. I was really exposed to illustration with the other mediums as well. So it's like with the knowledge I have now, when I'm meeting the kids and the kid is interested in art, I can tell them, hey, well, you can do A, B, and C with this, you know? Even if you don't want to be a digital artist, you can be a painter, you can be a sculptor or whatever. And even a lot of the kids, they like design, so you can be a designer, you can be an industrial designer, some type of builder or something. So I see a lot of students who are far more talented than I was at that age because of the internet, and they're exposed to more things, they're exposed to more techniques, and they get to follow their favorite artists and copy and study. So yeah, if I'm going to be that person that says, hey, you can have a career in this. You know, you're pretty talented. You can do this.
You can do this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, what are the kind of plans you have in the future that you can think about, or that you might be able to tell us?
For right now, I'm teaching. The reason I like to teach because I get off at 3 o'clock, so I can still have my art stuff on the side. So right now, I'm just looking at trying to build brands and then try to be a part of other brands, come in and just add my flavor to it and just keep the ball rolling.
Great, great. Because that was one of the things I asked you before you got here. Like, is there something that you may not be able to, that you're doing that you may not be able to talk about because of copyright issues and other kinds of things like that? Yeah. So that was good.
Yeah,
Good.
there's still some stuff coming out in the fall, but yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Great, great. So what would you, for other art students or students who are interested in the arts and other art students, what kind of things would you say to them?
Explore the arts, because art's very vast. There are a lot of different cultures in it. There are a lot of communities in the arts, so you got to kind of explore and dabble in things and then try to find out what you actually like within the arts. Because once you find that, then you realize the work it's not as hard because you like doing it. Once you find your passion in it, it doesn't feel as stressful or as hard to figure out because you're going to want to do it because you want to get better because it's something that you like.
You really like to do it.
Yes, yes.
I had the experience this semester of having my intro to painting course. And I know painting wasn't your favorite, but
Not at all.
I understand. But my intro to painting course, I had 17 students, and 13 of them were males.
Oh,
many of the students had never had a painting course. They had been interested in painting, they interested in art, but the public school system was not giving them the kind of art exposure that they were really interested in. I was amazed at the passion and desire that those students had for wanting to just gobble up all the information and just learn. And the interesting thing was, from the first painting that they did, which was horrible, but to the last painting was like they jumped 2 or 3 courses. Those students who were just into it. And I think that's really, really important, to find that passion within the student that they like. Even though some of them, not everybody liked painting. Painting is a whole different kind of thing to do. But it provided some of those technical things that you used in graphic design.
Yes.
I'm a former graphic designer also, and I knew that all the things that I was learning helped with my graphic design.
They do. Sculpture, painting, they all help with graphic design in some way, shape, or form. And it also gives you a different way to look at and attack designs when you're thinking about painting and you're thinking about sculpture, 3D, things like that. But yes.
Developing different ways of making the work with all the various options within the work that can happen,
Because it comes down to, with graphics, it's it's kind of like problem solving, because you have a client and they have an idea, and then you're trying to execute and get to that idea. So you really have to be creative. You really have to think about all your options. You really have to hone in and focus on your skill set.
Well, suppose the client doesn't accept the first design that you give them. Do you give up on the client, or do you do some more designs?
We have a conversation. we have a conversation.
Gotta have a conversation.
Yeah, we have a conversation, and then we can assess what they like or didn't like about the design. And then for me, usually, I try to make, especially with a client, I try to make them have some type of reference points as far as examples of what they like. That way we can hone in on what their goals are. So if you want to start a clothing brand, well, then you should have an idea of 2 or 3 clothing brands that you like, and you should be able to articulate why you like them, what stands out for them, and then you should be also able to add what you want, to pull from those things. How are you going to make it your own?
So basically, you're developing a relationship, and you have to learn to communicate.
You have to. You have
to learn to communicate.
Because if you don't communicate, you can end up wasting your time, because you may go down a road that the client may want to go left and you went right, etc. And then now you're wasting time, and we don't want to do that.
And making the client mad.
Yeah, but for the most part, I try to get everything approved in the sketching preliminary stages. I do not want to hear a client come back to me after I vectorize something and say, oh, can you make A, B, and C changes?
So when you're talking about in the preliminary sketches, that means you're actually drawing?
Yes, I draw.
How important is drawing to what you do?
Drawing is very important to what I do. It is the basis of everything I do. Unless I'm making a flyer or something that has a lot of typography, majority of the time I am drawing first, sketching it out, cleaning up the sketch, scanning it, and then I digitize it. So I draw every day.
Excellent. For
every day.
Yes.
So
critically important to me also.
Yeah.
So that's interesting for our students to know that you have to practice,
Yes.
and you have to keep doing the work.
Yes, you do.
Because that hones your productivity and being better at being an artist, okay?
Yeah, and it helps with your process. And then the more you practice at your process, the easier it is to snap out ideas, because you've already got that structure down.
Developing your process. Yes.
So like for me, when I draw things like cartoons and things like that, from a technical standpoint, I can break it down, and just from the techniques I use, I can easily create more and more and create new things just based off the principles that I use.
Excellent. Wonderful. Wonderful. So all of that goes into developing that career and basically a job where you're getting paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
We like to get paid.
We like to get, don't we?
We like to get paid.
So one of the questions I had, so we've already answered this question about has traditional school studio skills influenced your approach to your graphic design. We've already talked about that. How do you stay updated with, do you keep updating your software? Do you keep doing research?
So I stay updated by just being on the internet. There are a couple places I go just to see what's what. A couple people, I follow design companies. I try to just stay on top of just the design aesthetics, what's going on. And then also by being a teacher dealing with young people and kids, those are the main consumers of a lot of the products and things. So I kind of have like a case study in front of me, because I kind of get a sense of what kids like, what they don't like, what they're wearing, what they're into. They kind of keep you young.
Oh, they're kind of your focus group. You're like, that's your mark.
Yeah, you can say that.
How's she wearing
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
How are they wearing it?
Yeah. Why do you like that? Or why do you like that brand? Or what made you buy those? Things like that. And it just helps you just with understanding young people.
Do they have any idea why you're asking why
Of
you're
course
asking
not.
those questions?
Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, I do that a lot here at school too. I'm always learning. I learn a lot from my students.
You do.
I learn a lot from the students and how they're processing contemporary culture, like the words and sayings. And sometimes I'll say some stuff. Well, you remember. Sometimes I would say some stuff, and you ask, "What does that mean?"
Yeah,
yeah. And that's back in the day from when I was young. Those were popular slogans.
Yeah.
So it always helps. What else would you like to tell our audience, our young people, our
art is important. You got to keep. Everybody likes art. They can't tell you why they like art, but everybody is going to buy a graphic tee. Everybody's going to go in their car. They're going to listen to the radio. Everybody's going to go home. They're going to watch a TV show or a film. So the arts is all around us. So you got to keep the arts alive.
Yes, and support the arts. So we're hoping that
Yes.
everyone supports and keeps those keep those wonderful designs going.
Yeah.
I've looked at the designs on your Timberland website.
Yeah.
And they're really, and you're right. All those floating designs that we kept telling you to put something behind, make an environment, whatever. All those floating designs are working.
You used to kill me in the critiques, floating
Right.
images, and
Why is
you
all
need to
this
stabilize
floating?
this,
Yeah.
and you need to bring it down and add structure, and maybe if you added a background with
Background
it,
here,
it
this would make this work. Yeah.
but it works now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just perfect, just perfect. Well, I think I want to thank you very much. This has been most informative and really a wonderful conversation. And thank you everyone out there for watching and listening to the program. And this is Let's Talk About Art, and with DeCora Smith, and we thank you for viewing.